Mic check, check. Check, check. Hey guys, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? All right, awesome. One moment, guys. Guys, welcome to episode 9 of the Lyran Connection. Like and share. You guys can share this with... I didn't even share into groups tonight. Thanks, Angelica. I didn't even share into groups tonight. It's episode 9. Normally I'm pumped up. I've had a ton of contact in the last 48 hours, and if you notice on my page, I literally took a lot of the images off. Unfortunately, I didn't want to do that. I'm being forced to, for my own good, I am complying with the Lyrans. Images, man, not supposed to share images. I don't know what you guys know or where you're coming in on all this. I'm on episode 9. You can watch. I'm not going to delete any of the other videos. It is what it is at that point. I have to be very careful of what I share. I have to be very mindful, and I have to, and it's very serious. So this is a very serious episode 9. I don't want to be a bummer. We will go through. I can tell you what we can do. We can go through my contacts, some of the messages. I'm not allowed to share images right at this point until further notice. There are rules and laws that I'm only human, you know. I've been getting contact since 2013, and I thought, when they told me to start spreading this information and what I'm getting, I took it as everything, and there are certain things that can't be shared with others. So I apologize. Where we left off in episode 8 is, I'll just describe it. I got contact right on the show, live, right as we were finishing up. There was an image of a moon and a base. Hey Bobby, hey Doug, everybody. Man, I don't want this to be a downer episode. It's not a downer episode. It's still information. This is information we haven't had before. This is new contact. But a lot has happened, especially when I took those shots of that black triangle that flew over, and then I got confirmation from them when they sent me the image of that triangle. So a lot has happened. So what I have learned is, and this is going to sound totally nuts, but it's totally true. I was going back through the journal because everybody knows that, I get it. I get the contact. I put the dates. I put the time. I put the actual translation of exactly what it is. What is it, Bobby? VJ, my info is always good. Thanks, Bobby. So I always put it in chronological order. So there's a record. So everything's on record. Something happens to me, I disappear. Some of you may laugh, whatever. Because there is a lot of baloney out there on the internet. Of course, you know that. Some people actually get contact. I just happen to be bombarded by 31 different races of different contacts and I have images I have stuff that I was told that before it happens and then it happens. I have so many ways to prove it. I'm not here to prove anything. I'm trying to get to a point where we stay current and then we can go back through the old stuff because I have 8 years of data. I don't know. I don't care who they are or what they do. All I know is about my path and what there's one other person and then there's 12 others. And I've only found that one other person. I have yet to find these 12 other people. Even if it seems bad, it allows us to prepare in any way we can. Yeah, it's a good point. And I'm learning as we go along, I'm learning it as well of what to do and what not to do. Like I've told you before, there are laws on the earth, like, things you can't do, and you're supposed to be, do the right thing, be a good person, don't hurt anybody, all that kind of jazz. Excuse me. But in space, in the universe, there are many races, and there are governing laws and kingdoms in the out there, and what's a little frustrating, and I'm going to kind of vent a little bit on here because I do get contact. Some of these races and some of the messages, they expect me to know all these laws and rules. Like, how am I supposed to know that you're not supposed to share images? Now, they've told me, but I thought I was supposed to share. I'm not going to go into it. I'm just griping on here. I'm already in trouble. Here's what I've learned, though. Some people have been asking about, well, how do you make contact? Or how does this work? Okay. When you believe in whatever faith you believe in, or whatever, or if you're a New Ager, or meditation is like one of the first beginnings of like where you can make contact, because everything you say, everything you see, and everything you hear and think is known in the universe. It's kind of like we're giving off a signal. So everything, whatever you're looking at, can be viewed by whoever is out there that wants to view it. If they're tuned into you, they're going to know what you're thinking, what you're doing, what your motivation is, good, bad, ugly. It's known. You're like a DVR recorder. You're literally connected. Every single one of you out there, if you have a soul and you're a human, you can be, everything's recorded and everything can be watched. And especially if you're one who is getting contact and you have many things watching, everything can counterbalance. And that's what we're going to get into in this episode. So episode 9, a lot has happened. So we had the black triangles flew over. I thought, honestly, and I liked like Dr. Sala's work and stuff. He's right on the money. There are secret space programs. There is stuff that's been going on in these black projects for a long time. I thought when I saw the black triangles, I was like, oh, that's terrestrial secret program. And they told me false. They said, and they showed me the image of the race. And this is a new race. Unfortunately, I posted it. It's been on the Lyran Connection. I deleted it because I'm going to tell you the reason why as we get closer. Because the Lyrans have told me who I am, I've come to the conclusion based on contact and what our dialogue is, and I'm going to go through some of it. I'm going to go through what was said. Even joking around is taken there is no joking around up there. Like that's one thing cool about being on the earth. So everyone was like, I want to go to space. I want to meet an alien. Everything is like pretty literal up there, and there's like no joking around. It's a long war. It's been going on for millions of years. So I made a joke about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and I have it in the writing here. I said, oh, that would be so cool why can't they just send a pod down into my backyard? If they contacting me, right? Why can't they give me some technology? Why can't they See, and I'm saying this and I'm telling, like, because I know they're watching. I'm just going over what happened. Something broke rank, and they came in, and that's why they came over the house, and that's why the Lyrens, when I was telling you through episode 8, they engaged the targets acquired, the enemy. They literally took it as the command. He wants technology. We're going to bring it to him, because there's a division, and we'll go into it. It's nuts, but you have to be careful what you wish for, seriously, or what you say, because things happen, and there are consequences, and there are severe consequences that are happening, and I am learning very rapidly. We talked about in the past about the moon, the colonies of Cremona. And I showed you guys those images. You can go on I can't change what's already been out there. I'm going to have to answer for that. When I go back, I'm going to have to answer for that. Some colonies were decimated. There have been many things that have happened, because I'm not saying I'm this all-powerful whatever, but for what they say or who I am, what I think and what I say, even jesting around, is taken as a literal command, and they'll do it. Like when I say I want an image closer of something, they'll send it. And even then they're like, we're breaking bylaws, but here it is. So there's ranks that are broken, and then there's like internal conflict of where they're threatening, where they say, hey, this is forbidden. This is a law 18, forbidden images, and because whatever you see is now recorded into your mind, like it's forever. So the enemy has it, and there are a lot of enemies out there. There are a lot of races that are not good, and I will tell you that, hands down, there are good races. Hands down, there are a ton of bad races. And anyone who's getting contact, if they're not, this is what I'm coming to find out. And I'm not like just some guy who gets contact from like one, I got this and I saw this, had this experience. That's great. No, I'm having constant for 8 years. I'm telling you, if you're not very careful, the enemy gets that information and then uses it. And that's the whole point of this whole episode 9. And I know I don't want to be what do they call it, Debbie Downer, or I want to share everything. I want to show you everything. And I have been, for the most part, until we can go back. But I've been not threatened. I'm causing mayhem out there because of I'm not being mindful. So that's what we got to get to. Being mindful and taking this. And I'm going to share with you. We're going to continue on. And when I get the green light that I can show you everything, I'm going to show you everything. But I think I've shown you enough that you know that I'm not playing around. This is real stuff. This has really been happening. And I can prove it every which way to Sunday. But I have to be very careful because there are lives at stake. Not only on this planet, but many moons and other planets. And I know I sound nuts, but I can prove it. And let's go and be positive now. And let's be like you guys are saying. I'm going to try to be positive right now and really go through this delicately to catch you up to speed now of what has transpired. So I made that joke. I'm actually going to go it because you guys see, and I'm going to try to get the image, okay. Let's go back to when we got contact. I can show you this. I will show you images of because they can't stop me on that because they didn't send it to me and I took those images. Like here's some pictures I got in of some of the craft. Hey, you know what? They didn't send that to me. I'm not breaking any laws. I took those pictures. And you know what? That's me. I'm from the ground. Now they sent it back and I've got close up of craft in real time, and I have witnesses as this happened, but this is from my phone. I'm like, I'm trying to, I don't think, and we'll see what they'll say. I don't think I should be held accountable. I'm like, I don't think I should be held accountable. Like, I'm like, please. But that's the truth. I mean, this is what I took. This is what I got in. I pasted it in here. Okay, so let's go back. Let's catch up. I'm all over the place. So you know the whole thing about the 3 ships and Inquisitive forces were coming in, and then those 3, I have witnesses on the ground. They saw 3 ships around my house. They took off. They intercepted that. There was a ping off of one of Saturn's moons that this incoming fleet, this thing was threatening me, this Inquisitive force. The Inquisitive force overtook those 3 ships. They were flying in over me. We took pictures of it. The Soltraxi sent the sister battleship. It flew in. They got tired. The Lyrans got tired of going back and forth. Basically, they sent a battle station, and that was last episode. That's what when I'm doing a live, they sent that image, and that's actually an image I require because they sent me a black and white kind of close up image, and I said I need a color one, and then that's during the thing they sent it to me, and that's where we ended up. So let's go into where I was joking around, and then stuff got serious, and I didn't know what was happening. I thought, because I'm like, who's this new race? What's going on here? What's happening? All right, so let me get to that part. I'm up at there. Okay, great. All right. And I'll show you craft. I think I can do that. I don't care. I'm just going to do it. That's what they sent me. That's the triangle. Like, I was taking that picture, but that's like the triangle that was coming in. Whatever, what are they going to say? What are they going to do? I mean, yeah. What? So then, here it is. I'm trying to get to the part where, because it was around my birthday. Yep. Here we go. All right. I'm trying to find the part where I'm actually like joking around about wanting technology, and then this is when it happens. So I'm going to go forward. Okay, there's the new thing. That's when they said they stole the technology. And then I'm just going to go where I got contact last. So I got that image. You saw it. It was on the moon. I can't show it to you right now. I'm sorry. You're going to find out why. This is a crazy episode just because I got totally scolded. So I said, after the call, I was like, thank you. Can you tell me about this image? Is that a mobile battle station? So I have questions. Anything in red, I have a question. And then when I get an answer, I'll get it into, I'll get the message. I said, is that a mobile battle station? Thank you for this image. Can I visit? And I asked kooky questions because you have a window of time when you can communicate. So I said, can I visit this station? Can I visit? Can I get a closer look of the image you sent me, please? Thank you. And then they responded on June 4th, 2020 at 3:06 p.m. They stated, with code. So there's the code. There's a code signature. Every race has its own code signature. 0.06 only unto, here I'll show you as we read. Only unto the land closer to the laws to which do not respect the image of the 26,000 miles in circumference, not the defense structures of the human eye. So basically what they're saying is that station is 26,000 miles in diameter. It's near the moon. They're not going to let me see anything closer than what they were showing me because there are defense structures, and with the human eye, and I'm telling you, when I'm telling you about images, because it's burned in there. Once you see something, it's in there. It's like a DVR. And the enemy and others who have access to be able to get that information can get that information. They can see in real time if they choose. If they're tuned into you, or if they go back, they can go back and get that information. You're like a human recorder. It's what it is. So I was denied. But they give me those 2 images. I said, thank you for this reply. What images are permittable under law that you can share with me? Thank you. And one of the people on here, I'm not going to call out this person, but this person said, hey, Alex, on a private message, can you ask them something on my behalf? So I'll just say this person is R. Anastasia, how do you receive their messages and images? Okay. So the law is any technology that we're currently using, they won't surpass that technology to get the information to you. It's against the law. Wherever you are at technologically, they won't surpass that and go above and beyond that. So right now, when I started getting contact, it was just before smartphones, this is before all this stuff. I was getting binary code transmissions. I think this is a case of just because you can't doesn't mean you should, Bobby. It may come around. Okay, I'll go in. Let me answer the other question. So basically, how do I explain this? We have people, and we've worked in the telecommunications industry, and we can actually see and verify where lines and transmissions occur and where they originate. In the past, and this is before smartphones, when I was receiving binary code, I explained to you a long time ago, Julia's uncle, Philip Morrison, he worked on the Manhattan Project. He started the SETI program. He wrote in his writings, like in this book that he wrote about, and in private letters to other scientists, he wrote about binary transmissions with extraterrestrial, all this stuff. But in the public eye, they don't tell you anything. They just say, hey, we're looking, we're listening, we ain't got nothing yet. And so you heard about the WOW signal, and you've heard about other stuff. But there's a lot of stuff private and classified that has gone on. So we're trying to play catch up. Some people are getting contact. Well, I'm one of those people who get contact that I started with binary transmissions where I was breaking. And this is before you can actually just jump on. I'd actually have to go to like an Ivy League site, use their converter, and before it became on Google, and before you could actually use binary where you can, whatever. So I started to break it into language. And then when I break it into language, it always goes to Latin or some other kind of crazy thing. And then I have to break it from that language into English so I can understand what it is that's going on. And at first, I don't want to go into all this because that's what we're going to be doing in the future and all these other future episodes going in back when it all started. I got fearful because there was things that were being said and shown that there's no possible way, unless it's Dr. Evil himself or coming from out there and it's real, that there's no way that this could be, because I have the proof. And we'll go into all that. So then the only thing I could do is to stay sane with all this is like, okay, the date and time of when it happens, I'm going to record this down. I'm going to write this down, because if someone's messing with me, okay, I'm going to have such a paper trail that I'm going to take them every which way to Sunday to take care of this. And the deeper we went and the longer we've gone, now I'm on eight years of this, and I'm not talking about like once a month. I'm talking about I mean, I can show you my master list, like, and I've done this before. I mean, it's just constant. It's sometimes I'll get it eight times in a day. Sometimes it's nothing for a week. But based on the data, as we've built up to this point of 8 years, I can actually go back, since everything's in order, I can go, oh my gosh, I figured out on my own. And what contact it was telling me based on intervals of the sun, based upon stars and planets aligned, your geographic location, what you're doing, what you're in your mindset, like where you're at mentally, positive, negative, windows that open and close of time, day, night, seasons, all that intertwines mathematically of who and what you'll receive contact from. So as that progresses, it became more year after year. It actually built upon itself, and that's why I'm up to like 31 races now. And I've been doing this so long, and I've studied like Dr. Philip Morris, all his stuff. So, professor, but so where was I? Okay, so we know that the moon base was 26,000 miles and we're not supposed to see these defense structures on it. And we went through all this. Okay, I said, thank you for this reply. What images are permissible under law? Sorry, I was just hoping I answered that the best way I could of how I receive communications. They're encrypted lines, basically. And once those lines have been tripped, they'll be cut or terminated until new lines are established or old lines are established. I currently have like 18 different fluid, this is coming from contact, I have, and they even told me of all the different encrypted lines that you do under your control, like basically you can figure this out. But anyways, I have many lines that I have. I said, so, oh yeah, we're getting into, there was someone who privately messaged me who said, can you ask them on my behalf? I've had a couple people do this. The latest one, I'll just say this person is R. This R person said, I said, has stated, I won't say gender. It can help you if you want him to. Oh, I said it, him. It's a he. It's an R. That's all I'm going to give you. I don't want to. I'm trying to protect this person's privacy. And if they're cool, and if they're on here and they're watching, they're like, Alex, just say it. I'll just say their name. I don't give a hoot. But I'm trying to. Okay, so so I said that, right, about for that person because that was a special request. So at 3:14 p.m. on June 4th, 2020, I said, so that is 26,000 miles in circumference. What is the name of this place? So of course, I'm asking questions because there's a delay of response, and not everything sometimes is answered. Some things are answered. Some things are answered right away. Sometimes lines are broken by other forces, and it's confusing. But I'm getting you here, ready? So I get a response on June 4th and at 3:24, and they say, only you, your brother, and among the 12 chosen for himself bloodlines. And I said, oh boy. So they're answering an old thing. So we're talking about information. We're talking about what I'm allowed to share and what not about. So I'm only supposed to be like the images, certain things, only with me. The one person that I have identified as my brother, I call him my brother. He's been like a brother my whole life. He's not my brother, but by blood. But so, and then 12 others I have not met yet. I don't know who these people are. Supposedly there's 12 others, and I'm dying to meet them. They get like what I get. And supposedly this will all come to be. This is what I'm told. So anyways, only you, your brother, and among the 12 chosen for himself bloodlines. So at 3:29 I asked, have you identified the 12 others? But I have not found them yet. Can you let me have a piece of technology or equipment or something I can use from you? Can it not be dropped off in the backyard of my home? It's right here. Look at this. So I asked that, right? I'm like, half joking, but I'm like, that would be cool, right? If you could get like equipment, like if I'm getting all this contact, why can't I eat? They'd be really like, come here. Well, you food, drink. We'll just talk, you know. But there are rules or laws, right? So I'm joking, like, can you just drop off some technology? So then on June 4th at 3:34 p.m., they respond. So that is literally 10 minutes later. I made that statement. 10 minutes later, a certain technology is stolen. This is what I receive. And I'm like, a certain technology is stolen. I said, what technology is stolen? Who stole the technology? I didn't even think about what I asked prior, 10 minutes, because things are happening rapidly. I'm just like, because I'm not even in that mindset. I was joking or like half joking. That'd be cool. But then I'm like, okay, something's going on. They're making contact with me. They told me that technology's been stolen. And then I'll just show the ship. There's the ship. Well, I said, and they sent that to me, and they said, I said, how did they steal it, and what did they steal? I said, the ones who fly those type of triangle craft are terrestrial humans from Earth, correct? And I said, dark fleet craft, correct? How would they be able to steal from you, whom have a higher capacity of technology and experience? Because it's Lyrans. It's for another race. I mean, we may have secret stuff, but we're not anywhere near some of these guys. And I said, how did they steal it? And then they told me what I just said was false. So I said, false? I said, what is false? Who operates those craft then? Which race? And that's when they sent me that image. And I had it on the Lyran Connection, and anyone who was looking on there, you know what I'm talking about. It's robotic looking, like a board thing or whatever. It's a race though. I said, what race is this? What star system are they from? Because this is normal questions that I ask every time there's a new race or anything. I said, new enemy I have not seen before, because if they're stealing from the Lyrans, then they're the enemy, because I'm from Lyra. That's what they've told me. So then I get a new trip code, and it's all in numbers. So like how I used to get back in the day, like it'll be just, it used to be binary, or I'll get straight numbers. I'm like, I don't know this line, and I don't know what those numbers are, and I can't crack it. Normally I'm pretty good at cracking code because I've been doing it for 8 years. I said, so I responded, identify yourself, show yourself, speak in Latin, please. Because we've been told from many races that Latin is a universal language in the universe. I can prove in the Milky Way, and from what Contact has stated, and in Andromeda, Latin is used heavily. So I said, speak in Latin. So it's kind of like English on Earth, like speak English or wherever you're at. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't get a response. And then on June 4th, at 4:28, I said, just received from another line this code, which I don't know if this is from you. Because at this point, I don't know that the line has been cut. It's been overtaken. So at 4:34 p.m., on Thursday, June 4th, I get this. I get risks. That's all I get in Latin, risks. I said, what risks? Who made contact to me from the other line? What race is the above image of? I said, what does this numerical message translate to? Please answer my question. What race is that image of? I await your response. Thank you. And normally, Lyrans are really good about at least answering 70 to 80% of what I ask. Or if I ask for something, 9 times out of 10, they're going to do it for me, or they're going to tell me the reason why they're not going to do it for me. And then I received at 5:41, they said, woeful catalyst. Cease to thee thy great power, the network between the dynamic. And the only thing I can think of is, because I'm talking I'm talking to you guys. I'm building this new thing. I'm only on episode, well, now I'm on episode 9. I'm sharing out of game information, basically. Like, these are supposed to be private transmissions, and they're basically telling me to stop, and that between the dynamic. So the dynamic could be between the Lyrans and other races, and it could be between me speaking about what I receive with you guys. So I said, is that the name of the race, Catiuli? And what star system are they from? What is the name of this homeworld? What galaxy are they from? Because at that point, I haven't figured this out. I'm like, what's going on here? So then I receive a message at 5:59, and I get this numbers, which I've had a long time ago from other races. So I was able to crack that. And I broke that down into Latin. And it says, and the punishment for atrocities. And then I go, oh my gosh, the punishment for atrocities. When I see that type of language, it is when we start talking about the atrocities of the destruction of the colonies of Cremona. And you guys seen that in the earlier episodes. It's like a bluish moon from the lighting, and it's like a crater, and there's smoke coming out. And they're blaming me. And that's why those reptilians and then Gizada and all them, they're coming because they say that I caused that destruction, which I didn't. I'm here. I don't know how I could cause that. But this is where it gets crazy. Watch this. I said, why isn't this in Latin? Please resend in Latin. Because that's my go-to thing to say, because then I'm questioning. I'm like, bad guy alert. This is totally different. This is a different style. Someone's cut the line, because this has happened before over the 8 years. Many times the line's been cut, and then they'll a lot of the enemy forces, they are so boastful and arrogant that they will actually show themselves, and they will say who they are and why they're doing what they're doing. So I'm taunting them a little bit, because I know at this point in my gut that this is not good. I said, is this line compromised at 6:16 p.m.? At 6:28, I said, are you telling me to stop talking with the people of Earth on contact? I was told a while back to start sharing, and that's why I started this whole channel. That's why I began the Lyran Connection, because once I got green light, because I was threatened years ago, by people on Earth, and famous people who I was talking with. They told me to literally stop, or I will be I'm a dead man walking. I was totally threatened, and people you would recognize and know if I said the names, and I'm not going to do that because I'm not starting anything, but I'm telling you, they told me to stop. So I was privately just documenting and keep going. I'm doing my thing, and with my brother who I was sharing with, at least I had someone to bounce off of, because he's getting contact too. I said, can I continue or should I stop? I await your response. Thank you. The punishment for what atrocities? I am seeing many ships. I started seeing ships. Is this line still compromised? So June 5th, the next day, I asked, is this line still compromised? Nothing. Then at 11:58 p.m., I got coordinates. I'll share those coordinates. I wrote image there because what happens is when I get images and different things, I have a special place that I know is like, they don't mess around. For whatever reason, they've been doing this for 8 years. They totally secrete, they're totally discreet, and everything comes in tubes, and I got, so I'm waiting for these images, and basically these images I can share. It's not from contact. It's images of those coordinates. It just happens those coordinates were 15 minutes away from my home, in a location on the ocean, on a beach on the ocean. The Lyrans operate, and they have a base northwest of Bermuda under the sea. They have a base on the moon. They have a relay station on Saturn. In Vega, they have the main city. And then they have that asteroid battle station. They have a lot of resources and places. This was definitely not them, because they would never come to on our shore. And they've stated that. And when we go into the past, you'll know why. Because when they were coming to visit, they wanted me to travel to get, and they told me, and we'll go through all that. But so I knew this is too close to home. Something's up. What is this? And I'm getting set up. Like, they're either going to take me out. So this is on June 5th. So this is after our episode 8. I'm like, so the coordinates were on Figure 8 Island. Now, Figure 8 Island, where I live, there's a lot of elite, powerful people that live on Figure 8 Island. And I'm like, either a few things. I'm like, either it's someone who doesn't want me talking anymore, and they want me to go out there. And it was on a dead-end road on the beach. Like, either it's that, or it's these things that took over this line. Either way, it's all bad news. I'm not going over there. I'm not doing it. So I didn't, but I have. So I responded. Are these coordinates? Because this is back then, June 6th at 6:17 a.m. I'm like, in the real time, I'm trying to, like, what is this? Are these coordinates? This is where I live. I don't see you. Who is this? Figure 8 Island? When? At 7:09 a.m. And on June 6th at 9:08, I said, are you available to talk? Nothing. June 8th, 2 days later, I await your response. Thank you. That's my usual cordial thing that I do with the Lirons. I always say, I await your response. Thank you. It's like Roger, over. It's kind of letting them know a pattern of what I do, and they know to, So on the June 9th, I did get a response at 3:46 p.m. From the original line that was secure before it was broke. And it says, Bourne code is unknown to us. A clear communication is reestablished. So I'm like, oh, this is good news. This is typical. Whenever a line has been broken, the Lirons will tell me the line's reestablished, everything's secure. For whatever reason, you would think the bad guy or like other ones out there would be like, no, pretend, but they don't. I mean, I guess because they're boastful and stuff. But so the Lirons say clear communication is reestablished. That's great. So I have a lot of questions. So I'm like, 3:48. I'm like, I was worried due to the being and the craft that stole the technology. I thought maybe they broke communications. The image of the asteroid base, is that a mobile battle station? At 3:51, I said, what race was that flying those triangles, though, that flew over my house? I was sent these coordinates from another line. Was this you sending it to me? I sent them the coordinates. I sensed danger and I did not go to the location. Location very close to my house. I await your response. Thank you. And they respond on June 9th at 8:33 p.m. And they said, now the statue is human intelligence in a given moment of time. You do not need technology. They have to coordinate activities concerning acts for good. Weakened sphere of the moon is a planet of harmony, a balance of 6 cycle. So I'm like, what are they talking about here? What do you mean? So I'm like, oh, they're answering old questions, right? So they're saying I don't need the technology because I was asking for technology. But then something clicked. I was talking with the other one who gets contact, and we're like, what? So I'll kind of, instead of keep going for quick, I'll tell you what it is that I think happened, and then we'll continue. What I think happened is when I made that joke earlier, and I said, oh, why can't they can I have some technology and it just like drop it off in my backyard? Because the Lirons say I'm a prince. This is what they say. I'm not saying it. This is what they say. They say I'm a prince from Lyra, from the House of Kings, from the House of Nicholas, and the Kings of Light, from under the Kings of Kings. This is what they say. This is what they say, right? And there's a fleet, and I'm preparing for the future. And there's 3 faction races under the Lirons: the Elohim, the Galvarics, the Syrians, from like the Sirius star system. And there are fleets of ships and all kinds of stuff, right? When I made that request, just like I make requests about images and they send me those images, I made a request for that technology. I've been trying to figure out why those black triangles flew over my house, and I have witnesses and people taking pictures, and I'm like, this is a race I've never seen before, but it's like robotic looking. And then I'm like, I asked for that. They stole technology and broke rank within. So you have all these different not only do you have 3 factions, but you have other things that are working for the forces. So under the Lyran command, because I'm a higher rank, I literally asked for something and they're like, no, because he's going to come in 10 years and there's a whole and then some must have broke rank and they stole technology and they literally went over my home. And then the Lyrans came, that's why those white ships came after him and said, targets acquired, the enemy, because they became the enemy because they broke rank and they took the technology because I said something. This is what I'm thinking. It's too much proof right here. And then that's why those coordinates showed up. Now, I haven't gone over there, but I sent it to the Lyrans. So they're probably aware. Well, of course they are, because I sent them the exact coordinates. If I didn't send them the coordinates and I would have went over there, maybe there would have been technology there. But I think these things took a suicide run, basically, he says the prince or whatever, he needs this, and they're like, we're getting him technology. Why do we don't? And they broke rank. So anyways, let's keep going. You'll see where this gets crazier. I said, how will I talk to you if I don't use technology? Please explain in detail the 6th cycle and the moon. 8:36, I said, I await your response. Thank you. And then I get a response to last night, and it says the sphere of kings. Now, I'm even afraid of saying that out loud. And here's the reason why. I got an image, and I'm not going to tell you more than that. But I will keep going. I said, please explain to me in detail about the sphere of kings. Thank you. May I see an image of what you're talking about? And boom, that's when I got the image. It has to do with the city. It has to do with it's a sphere. It's gold, but I'm not gonna tell you more than that. I think I might have I don't know if I posted it. Well, anyways, let's keep going. Then they say, and that's all they said. Because look it up. I'm waiting for the image to come in. They said, and, like A-N-D. And then the next thing they said, before I even got the next thing, I said, what am I looking at? Thank you. Is that a structure that a king is inside? May I see other images around or inside this sphere? And what? And then they sent me for brothers. So N for brothers, your brethren only, a 10-year. I said, for brothers, is this something I will visit one day? It appears to be made of gold. Is this correct? Please send me more images. Thank you. I await your response. Thank you. My brother, only a 10-year? I thought I had less than 10 years. So I'm asking all these questions. What else can you share with me? Thank you. I wish to speak with you in person. Thank you for all the information you give me. And then they said, gifts is this is at 10:21 last night. Gifts is prohibited from participating brothers' eyes. You're not allowed to even see it. You're not even supposed to. This is such a a spiritual or like religious or it's such a taboo. You're not even allowed to look at this. You're not supposed to. This is, again, it's forbidden. And then they said the consequence of the lands to be punished. So the king, so the kings of kings over the king of light decrees that the consequence of the lands to be punished. So that lands, that's plural. So I said, I do not understand. Please explain. Are you saying my brother is not allowed to see the images I receive? Am I not to share images with my brother? Which lands will be punished? And then they said, the enemy is in the sight of the people. And then that was the last transmission, and I have 5 questions, and I'm going to tell you what this means. I said the enemy's inside of the people, so you're saying not to share with anyone? And I thought the images were of Lyra and good images. Please explain, thank you. Please advise me. I am very confused about the conversation. I await your response, thank you. Hours later, I said, do I share what you send me or not share what you send me with the peoples of the earth? And then hours later, I said, I apologize for sharing the gift of the sphere. I am a child learning the ways. I meant no harm, and I'm not perfect. I'm just a human. Because I'm not perfect. So they expect me to understand and know these laws. So this is what I think. Remember what we started off with. Be careful what you wish for. They say that in life. They're like, be careful what you wish for. Yeah, be careful, because things can happen. So I think when I was joking around and making these wishes or commands, or certain ones would take that as a command if you're at a certain rank, and there are breaking ranks, and I think that sharing with certain, and we'll go back, there are certain images, like it's law. I know it's called Law 18 about the images. You're not supposed to share the images, but I didn't know. I thought it was only certain images. I didn't know it was like for. and then they're saying that the enemy is in the sight of the people. Well, who's watching? And I didn't even share it, guys, this time. Like, normally this thing gets shared out, and it's like it gets all these people that eventually watch these episodes or whatever. That's what they're talking about. The enemy. So the enemy not only sees through our eyes, but there's enemies like foreign and domestic enemy. There are enemies that are watching this, that are seeing what I'm sharing. And what I'm basically showing is dirty laundry. Not dirty laundry, like I'm showing. That's why they didn't want to show me the battle station, the closer shot, because they know I'm going to share. I shared it. They're going to see the defenses on this station. And they gave me 2 shots, but they didn't give me that close-up one because they said of the defenses. So everything's purposeful, because they know that it's through your eyes or you guys watching. So this is how we're going to proceed, and this is why I did episode 9. I'm going to share messages with you. They told me a long time ago I need to start telling people, right? Images are on hold for right now. I'm sorry. I took them off the site. I took them, and these are one of a kind. Eventually, hopefully, if something happens to me, I mean, it's all here. It's all going to be distributed, and it's all going to be out. But I'll go through some of these. I haven't even been looking. Sorry, guys. These images are so phenomenal. I will share craft. Anything picture I take is fair game. That's how I look at it until they tell me otherwise. Because if I take a picture of it, I take a picture. And if they confirm it with an image of a craft, I think that's fair game. Because, I mean, there's a lot of crafts that have been filmed. When it's specific, like structures and races, and man, they get very upset about the image of what I've already shared. And when I go back through this, and this is pretty thick. I mean, you just saw an image right there. Like, they know. But anyway, so this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna share the messages. We're gonna stay positive. I'm gonna share the messages. I'm gonna continue on with this. And they told me already. See, they future proofs past again. I'm gonna be in a court, like when I go up. I have to go in front of the judge, and there's tears, and I'm gonna have to plead my case, because there are things that have happened that I was not aware that, like the colonies of Cremona, the sharing of the sphere of the kings, sharing certain images that I wasn't, the law 18, breaking that. I've been breaking a lot of rules, but it'd be nice if they just gave me the rules and laws of the intergalactic. And I asked them, I said, and we'll go through that. I said, how am I supposed to know all this? And they're like, you know, but I really don't. I don't know all these laws and rules. I'm gonna feel really stupid when I do find out that I do know, like in the future. All right, let me look at some of this stuff that I've been missing. Is watching. I guess that is a great reason the eyes are out there. Yeah, everything you see. Remember this. This is the best thing I can teach anyone. Is hey Michael, anything you say, think, motive, see, hear, all that stuff. You're a DVR. You can be tapped in real time to be seen, or what you're doing, thinking, your motives, or it can be used as a digital DVR recorder. Basically, that's what it is. Still studying Latin? Yeah. So so they told me I have to learn Latin fluently, and you would think by now, after 10 years of 8 years of getting going through contact and all this and decoding. I know a lot of words. I'll see a word and I'll say before I even decode it, and then I double check. But I've been studying. I'd say 6 out of 7 days. I'll be honest. There's a day that I'm like, I use the Duolingo, and it actually works pretty good. And I'm learning pretty rapidly between contact and between Duolingo. The Latin, so I'm moving on up. But yeah, 6 out of 7 days. I'm still. That's a good question. It's a lot. It's stressful. You know what's hard about Latin? It's it gets all kind of like, it's layered language, but deep language. Like, we have a lot of filler words in slang, and there's not like a lot of slang in Latin. So that's what's interesting about the Latin aspect of it. So guys, the last time I actually had contact, officially, for the record, for episode 9, so we can know where we're going for episode 10. I'm not wrapping up yet, but so at 10:28 p.m. last night was the last time. So when I get contact from the lot, I blow off all these other races if they say stuff. Even if they tell me, I'm just like, whatever. But the Lyrians tell me, I'm like, I'm in trouble, because that's where I'm supposedly from. Hey bud, hope you all right. Yeah, it's been hairy. So I'm realizing, because this has happened probably 5 or 6 different times, recorded within the context itself, that I've made a comment and major things have happened. And I was like, coincidence. I have my journal for coincidence box stuff. Unless it's like raw contact, I'm like, it's contact. But after this last one, I'm like, it's what it is. I said it. They did it. Just like when I say, send me a closer image or send me that. They're not even supposed to do that. It's against the law. But because of my rank, they send it. And I guess I'll sort it out when I have to go see whoever. The Kings of Light or whoever is going to, have a talk. Because when I was supposed to go back, I was supposed to have a stiff talking to on waiting on wisdom. But I think now I'm going up for pleading a case in front of a court, basically, for things that have taken place. And guys, clones are real. So, like, we've been cloning on this planet. But clones out there, there are clones. And I asked if they have a soul, but I don't think they have a soul. I don't know. It's weird. And they also fall apart after a while. They're not like your typical. We found that out in episode 7 or 8 when I got contact. And I was like, "What's wrong with the face on that?" And they're like, "Oh, the degenerated." They call it cDNA because that's how the signature is. Like, we have DNA and RNA and all that. They call it cDNA. I guess that's C for clone. cDNA, and then it's degenerated because there's only a shelf life of so long for a clone before they have to produce a different one. So everything said is literal to them. Yeah, so there's no joking around. There is no joking. Like, out of 8 years of contact, I have not had like there's not like a haha funny moment. There's not there's not. It's very serious. I mean, it's picture like if you mixed Star Trek, Star Wars, take out all like joking dialogue, and everything was like intense, serious. And there's a war. I mean, there's. I hope there's joke. You know, I have not seen. I have not got anything that's like haha. Like there's. I can't think of anything. And I mean, I've got 3 books. I have 8 years of data. There's no joking. None. And I like to joke around. That's why I made a joke. I said, "Oh, I'm afraid to even just say it to you guys right now, repeating it back because of what happened." Yeah. You are. They are grooming you to be, by you learning Latin, be the prince. Yeah. That's. I mean, I take it. In the beginning, I was fearful, and they called me out for being fearful. I had a lot of fear. I admit it. I was scared. There's a lot of stuff that there was no way, unless there was some multi-trillionaire messing with me. There's no way some of these things were happening, and it was scaring me. And then I doubled down in like my own faith and what and then the Lyran started teaching me and telling me, and then they broke the news to me. And then that kind of, when not that I'm like, oh, I'm a prince. I'm like, I still, I can't even, I laugh sometimes because it's like, it's so ridiculous. It sounds ridiculous, but they don't think it's funny. It's very, very, very serious. And they actually, one of the things when I didn't go back to Bermuda and go to get picked up, they even made a comment. They're like, it's a very sad day on Lyra. And they've made mention of, there's elites on this planet that know who I am. There are, that everyone knows. That's why all these races, they all know. So I'm supposed to be important in the future, but I don't even know who I am. Like in the future, like I see these pictures of these old shots of me and like in these ships and all this stuff. It's like, and I have like damage to my face and I'm just this young guy on Earth. I'm like, but I appreciate the experience. Yeah. So that's what I've been trying to do. Be serious with it, and that's what I do. I am being serious. I'm documenting everything. This is, to me, this is historical. And they said it's like I'm not saying it's biblical. I'm not going there because I'm not going to go there. They said every millennium, every 2,000 years, it's like all this stuff happens and there's like a reset, a new age. They said that this is the end of the age before a new age, the final battle of kings. And I wasn't supposed to be here at this time. I was supposed to be in Lyra, but now I go back in less than 10 years. Maybe being a prince is not the same. They're as we think of as a stereotype here, totally different. I would disagree only because the images show me in like purple robes and weird, like it's almost like Star Wars outfits. Like, oh, it's literal. There are many. There's the House of Nicholas, and then there are different houses of king. There's kings underneath the king, the main king, and there are different names, and there are different. That's why, like my brother, he was sent here, and I didn't even run into him until I was like, early 13 or whatever we were, and we're like, I know you. And come to find out, they say that he lived right down the block, and didn't even know he was sent here to assist me during these times. And there's 12 others. I don't even met them yet. So it's crazy. Maybe prince means general or leader, and it is. It's I have so much data on. This is what they say. I have a fleet up there, and there are 2 beings who are maintaining the fleet until And that's what happened with the colony of Cremona when they went and came to they come here to protect me once in a while. These other things are trying to take me out. On the way back, they hit the colony of Cremona and they decimate. I mean, it's a crater. They blew it right off the right off the moon. They totally blew it right out of the. It's gone. It's totally gone. And it's supposedly war crimes for that. But I didn't do it. I didn't say, hey guys, can you stop it? I didn't even know of a colony of Cremona. I know in ancient times there was a colony of Cremona off of like somewhere near Italy or somewhere like in ancient, but there a lot of names too are used out there. There's a what do they say is earth is in heaven and all that stuff. There's a lot of similarities, just like there are courts and kingdoms. There's courts and kingdoms down here. Yeah. So I do have there's that shot where that being is right behind me with a huge like rifle, like I don't know what kind of rifle that is, in that weird armor, and I'm in the black with the white point all through. I don't know. We'll see as we're going to go on this journey together, and unless they tell me you can't share anything anymore, I just won't share the images because I know law 18. Then you must man your role. They would be compartmentalized. What? They must be compartmentalized. Oh yeah. Yeah, so there's like, I guess there's a plan. Here's what I do know. I do know that the races out there have the ability to, it's outside of our time. They can see things on a limited basis before they happen. I've been warned about a hurricane that was going to hit me way before it was developed and told me to leave. I've been told about off of Madagascar when all those seismographs went off a couple years ago, and I had those coordinates. It was the same place. It was months in advance. I have tons and tons and tons of instances where they have told me something before it happens. And if you're telling me something before it happens, either you're involved because you're doing it, or it's because you can see what it. And there are timelines, and as we go back, you're going to find there are timelines, and timelines can be altered, because technically I'm getting out of game information. If I was to live my life as Alex, right, and just not know anything about contact or into UFOs or anything, and I just live my life, I may stumble across, or I may not, but I'm getting direct intervention where I'm getting messages, I'm getting images, I'm getting things that are, so then that's kind of like playing with, you could create a paradox, or you could alter a timeline, or you can change something, because maybe I'm not supposed to know. But I don't know, I'm rambling at this point, guys. I enjoy talking, but to me, I always think, I'm like, I must sound boring because I'm just like, just telling you guys, but yeah, so unless you got some more questions, this is episode 9. It's been crazy. I'm going to continue. I'm almost at the end of this book, this whole blank book, and I got a new one in, and I'm waiting on some images. And just be mindful out there, be careful out there, and I'm really sorry I can't share the latest image. An attack doesn't mean a bomb, and it wouldn't be hard to cause a hurricane if you can travel faster than light. Yeah, so it's called FTLP, faster than light particle accelerator, and they use that technology to. But a lot of races have their different versions of the technology, and it's like old school it's like we're like, oh, faster than light, or like Star Trek, or like it's old technology for them. Like they're into like crazier stuff. It's crazy, and And they're all, you know what's crazy too is I think about if they wanted to, it's like they could just like people say that, well, they could just obliterate us if they wanted to. Here's what I've noticed. Even though that there are enemies out there, there are laws and rules in the universe that they still have to abide by. You would think that the enemy, and I've been saying this for the last couple of days to other people, like my brother and stuff, you would think that they would just be like, you know what, I'm just gonna decimate, I'm gonna just do this. I'm just gonna come down there and I'm just gonna, but there are certain rules and laws that they have to, like they're like, law 18, you're not supposed to share that image. You have that image, and you're, it's like, okay, what are you worried about laws and rules if you're like chaotic evil and you're just doing whatever anyways? They use portals. They use portals. They use all kinds of stuff. And there's drones that they use. They use scout ships. They have drop ships. They have battleships. They have flagships. They have fleets. There's the Sun Fleet. So I have this book, and we'll go into this another time, but I have this black ledger, and from all contacts, so whatever they say, right? Everything is like important, whatever they say, because it's historical, right? It's for the record. But certain things that we, like if they say Sirius C, like we know Sirius C, they're saying what we, but when they say names and things of different places, and we have it charted, or we don't have it charted, and I have the names here or different things, it's like, that's, wow, so that's what they call that. For instance, the Star of Sorghum. There's a Star of Sorghum. A and B orbit Sirius C. We know that. Center of their gravity is called XYLANTHIA, Zelanthia. Home planet of the Nomos, orbits Sirius C star. So there's a race called the Nomos. And I'll just tell you this cool little fact. So we moved into this new house, we upgraded, whatever like that. Kids are growing up a little bit and stuff like that. So I'm very thorough and very, very like to the T with my works of when I get contact. Somehow, some old pages from back in 2013 got lost in a shuffle, in a box, in a move. And Julia came in, she's like, Alex, I just found these with my mom. Like, what is, do you have this? And I'm like, the home planet of the Nomos? Holy, where did I miss that? I dropped, because in the beginning I was sloppy. I didn't know what I was doing. It's not like someone said, okay, what you're going to do is you're going to go and do date and time. You're going to record all. I had to invent all this stuff. So I'm like, I can't keep track of all this. So I had to go back and I had to write it and transcribe it and do it by hand. And I had to, so there's some important information. So it's cool. I got some 3 pages of stuff that I entered into the Black Journal. This is the black book of, my black book. It's my black book of, I made a page for like star systems and races and kingdoms and fleets. Like some of the names of the fleets these are real fleets. The flagship Soltraxi. The Soltraxi Soar, which is the sister of the flagship. It's a battleship. The Mat Fleet. Mat means like God's gift, so that's what they call it. Altinic Fleet, the Sun Fleet, light warships, drop warships. And I just started doing this a couple weeks ago, so there's a ton of other things that I have to add into here. Races, constellations, councils, planets and moons, systems, names. Because I'm like, I need to find a way to, because there's so much data and so much material, I need to condense some of these important names into my black ledger so I have quick reference if someone has a question about a race or something. Let me see. Lightning is a moment of broken space, like a portal, like a reference and things. Yeah, lightning. Yeah, so my brother, he knows more about lightning than I do. He's actually witnessed ball lightning, he gets all kinds of other kinds of experience, but he gets the same kind of contact, but it's more sporadic. But I have to be careful. I am the front guy, so I'm going to go and take all the arrows. I'm just going to be out there and I'm just going to tell it until I'm told not to tell it, or I'm threatened, or it gets to the point where I can't. So that's what I'm doing. Others have not been able to do that yet, or because of situations. But I'm looking for the 12. Who are these 12? I've even asked contact. Where are these other 12? Who are these 12? Where are they? I've searched. I mean, I see a lot of stuff on the internet. I don't see anyone getting contact. Like, there's 12 other people out there on this planet that are getting contact. I don't know what their position or what their message, or hopefully they've been documenting like me in order, or maybe they're just getting a message, or like they're just disregarding it, or maybe I don't know. But the Lyrans do say that they eventually do come as well. So I have so many things I understand for no reason at all. I have so many things I understand for no reason at all. What do you mean, Bobby? I have so many things I understand for no reason. Oh, that's how it started with me in the beginning. The epiphanies. When I started having those dreams of, this is before social media, like 11/11, 11/11, like everything you look on the media now, it's like 11/11, 11/11. Literally, before contact physically began for me, before there was cell phone, like smartphones, all this stuff, I was literally having a dream, or everything we saw was like 11/11, 11/11, right? In my dream, that's all. It would be 11/11. That's all in my dream, right? And then I would get these, what I called my epiphanies. I would start getting these, like, I'm a smart guy, don't get me wrong, but all of a sudden I would start writing, because I'm like, I totally understand this. And I would be like writing pages and pages, and I have all that stuff saved. I'll put that into a journal one day when I catch it. I don't know how I have time for all this of stuff. And I would shoot it back and forth with my brother, and I would say, listen, this is what I just had, this epiphany, because it's like a flood of information would just flow, and then it shuts off. It's like, it could be 2 minutes, it could be 5 minutes, it could be a minute, but all of a sudden I understand everything and I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta write. Science, tech, materials, all in my head, machines in my mind. Yeah, that's how it was for me in the beginning. But it wasn't always there. It was just like a faucet. Whenever it turned on, and whenever it turned off. And then I started getting more visions again. Like I see something before it happens, and then I would say it. And there's witnesses. And then it happens, and then it's like, how do you? But that's been my whole life. Even my mom's had that, and someone, I think VJ said it, clairvoyance and different things. I would wake up and draw machines, materials, science, understand. Man, you should write. I hope you've been, Bobby. I hope you've been documenting all that stuff down. You never know that you could be getting downloads or whatever they're called. I think that's what it is. The epiphanies are the downloads that you're getting. A flood of information, and your brain is on overload, and you're writing. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm not a handy type of guy, but I come up with pretty cool inventions, like in my head. But I'm like, I don't know how to patent this stuff. Like, how do you do? Like, whatever. So I'd write the note. And I think everyone does that. Come up with ideas for stuff, whether you act on it or not. But I don't think that's from contact. For me, I have it, but it's destroyed. That sucks. Yeah, that's why I gotta be very careful with my works. I have to back it up and record it and put it in a safe and all kinds of jazz, because So sorry guys about taking down the photos. I wish I had that pen from Men in Black. I just erase your mind so you not remember the image in your mind. I was trying to build one and kaboom, so I took it all apart. Dreams, so much to dream, it's mind blowing. Oh, so yeah, that's a good point. Dreams. Contact has mentioned dreams. Your dreams, you're vulnerable in your dreams. That's another thing. I don't know much about it. I don't know a lot. I've been told from Contact, be careful with your dreams and you're susceptible when you're in dream. But I don't know. They haven't told me much more than that. I mean, there's so much to learn. There's so much we don't know. And I mean, I got beings telling me stuff that, dreams, you can, that's a whole nother, I've had so many. Okay, I'll tell you, my latest dream, I don't talk about dreams except maybe 1 or 2 episodes because it relates to Contact. This doesn't relate to Contact, but it does because I don't have UFO dreams and all that kind of stuff. I did have a dream, though, the other night where I was on this balcony, and it looked like I was in California, and it was like near Hollywood or somewhere, and I'm overlooking the city, and it looks like palms. It has to be California or out west. And there was someone, my brother, I think someone next to me, and I'm like, do you see them? Look how many ships there are. And then we had these, like, you never go to like the zoo or whatever, or wherever, and they have those binoculars, like you put a quarter in, or sometimes they're free and you can see. Well, there's one of these things there, and I'm looking, and I see all these light ships going up this volcanic, like, mountain range, and there's so many of them, and they're just like hovering, and that was my whole dream. It felt like it lasted for like 20 minutes, but it was probably like 10 seconds. Don't be. I believe that may be the message I needed to hear. Yeah, man, just get organized. You got to start. You just got to start somewhere. And look, imagine, you know what's crazy to me? Imagine if I was like, I'm just not going to record anything. I'm not going to write anything down. I'm not going to, whatever. Oh, that's pretty cool. Or I got a message, and I can't remember all this. I mean, I can. Some of this stuff I know by heart because it relates to, but if I didn't have this in order, I'd be, oh my gosh. I'm so glad I've done this. Don't be sorry. Do what you need to do. Follow your intuition. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, follow your intuition. Yeah, do the right thing. Be a good person. Intuit with your gut. Follow your gut. Be strong. VJ's got it right. Guys, I've dragged this on. I'm probably boring and you're falling asleep. Listen, episode 9, I thought it was going to be a Debbie Downer. You guys lifted me up. It actually was pretty cool. We got to talk more at the end, talk things out. We just know certain images and stuff. I can't. I will share crafts if I can. I'm just going to have to. Here's the thing. I never know what I'm going to get. I just know lately, like it's coming from the top, I'm in trouble for sharing certain things. And you guys haven't even seen the latest image I shared it with someone on the inside who receives contact like me, and they're not even, it says that they're not supposed to see it with their eyes. And I'm going to be paying for so much. So whatever, but I'm not going to be blatant and just be like, you know what, I'm just going to show it anyways. Whatever. No, I'm not going to. I got it. Message loud and clear. I'm going to try to be the best, to be a good boy and do the best I can, but, give me a break. I'm just a person. So I appreciate everyone's friendly advice. Hey, have a goose night, a good night. I didn't meant to say good. But it's funny, my son Jonathan, he's 8. He likes to joke around. He goes goo goo, and he says goo goo. So I thought that was like an inside joke for a second. I saw that, so but I know you're trying to say good night. No means no. Good night, Princess. Guys, thank you. Episode 9, episode 10. Whenever it happens, I may get contact tonight. I may not get contact for 2 days, maybe a week. Longest it's been is, I think, it was like a gap of 2 months. It was so unusual, and I actually got a little depressed. I was like, I guess they don't love me anymore. But guys, thanks again. Appreciate it. Be safe out there. Be good. Be mindful of your thoughts and what you do. Be a good person. Do the right thing. Be the best that you can be. Wow, that almost sounded like trying to join the military or something. Messing with my aunt also. Yeah. Thanks for letting us know. Stay safe. Hope everything's working out with everybody out there. Peace and love. And I'll be in touch. Thanks for watching. And when you'll hear it when I get it, you'll hear it. Unless it's very highly sensitive and I got to ponder about it for a second before I can share it. Just like what happened last night. I wanted to come on so bad. I want to show you this so bad, what I got. It is so magnificent, but it is forbidden. And I am in trouble. Good night to you, Gerfling. Gerfling army. You have passed your... All right. Peace out, guys.